President Nelson Mandela walked through the gates of Harmony Primary School on a warm autumn morning in 1995. The new South Africa was barely a year old. Apartheid had fallen, but its shadow remained everywhere, especially in places like this. The school had only recently integrated. Black and white children now shared the same building, the same playground, the same teachers, but they did not share the same space. Mandela entered the classroom and saw it immediately, invisible lines. On one side of the room, 15 black children sat together. On the other side, 12 white children clustered near the windows. Between them, an empty space, no physical barrier, just decades of learned separation. The teacher, Mrs. Elizabeth Botha, a white woman in her 50s, stood nervously at the front. "Mr. President," she said, her voice tight, "welcome to our school. The children have prepared songs for you." Mandela smiled warmly. "Thank you, Mrs. Botha. But first, may I speak with them?" He walked to the center of the room, the empty space between the two groups, and sat down on a small chair meant for a child. His tall frame looked almost comical, folded into the tiny seat, and a few children giggled nervously. "Good morning," he said gently. "Good morning, Mr. President," the children responded in unison, but their eyes remained cautious. Mandela looked at the black children on one side, then the white children on the other. He said nothing for a long moment. Then, "Why do you sit so far apart?" Silence. "Are you enemies?" he asked. "No, sir," a brave black boy of about 8 said quietly. "Then why?" Mandela pressed gently. A white girl with blonde pigtails, no more than 7, spoke up. "My mama says I should sit with my own kind." "And what is your kind?" Mandela asked. The girl hesitated. "People who look like me?" "I see," Mandela said. He looked at a black girl across the room. "And you? What did your parents tell you?" The girl looked down. "That white people don't want to be our friends." Mandela nodded slowly. "So you both want to sit apart?" The children looked confused. Finally, a small black boy raised his hand. "I don't mind sitting with anyone, but..." He glanced at the white children. "They don't talk to us." A white boy responded defensively. "You don't talk to us either." "Because you look scared of us," a black girl said. "We're not scared," the white boy protested, but his voice wavered. Mandela leaned forward. "Do you know what I see? I see children, just children, not white children, not black children, just young people with curious minds and kind hearts." He paused. "But you have been taught to see something else. Your parents, your grandparents, the old laws, they taught you to see walls where there are none." "But the walls feel real," the blonde girl whispered. "Yes," Mandela agreed, "because fear is real, even when the danger is not." He stood up slowly. "But here's the truth. Those walls, they only exist if you build them. Every day you choose. Do you build walls or do you build bridges?" The children stared at him. Outside, through the windows, other students played on the divided playground. Black children on one side, white children on the other. "I spent 27 years in prison," Mandela said quietly. "And when I came out, I had a choice. I could hate the people who put me there. I could build walls, or..." He smiled. "I could remember that hate is taught, and what is taught can be untaught." He looked at Mrs. Botha. "May I do an activity with them?" She nodded, uncertain. "Good," Mandela said. "Children, let's play a game." Outside the classroom, in the school courtyard, parents gathered. They had heard President Mandela was visiting and came to watch, some out of curiosity, others out of suspicion. Among them stood Thomas van der Merwe, a white Afrikaner farmer whose daughter Anna was in the classroom. He stood with arms crossed, jaw tight. Next to him, his wife Maria looked equally uncomfortable. "I don't like this," Thomas muttered, "mixing the children. It's not natural." "The law says they must share schools now," Maria said quietly, though her voice carried doubt. "The law," Thomas spat. "Mandela's law, the man who bombed buildings. Now he's a president telling us how to raise our children." On the other side of the courtyard stood Grace Kumalo, a black woman who worked as a domestic helper. Her son Sifo was also in that classroom. She stood with several other black parents, their expressions a mixture of hope and wariness. "Do you think it will work?" asked another mother. "Putting our children together?" Grace shrugged. "The children don't hate each other, not yet. It's us, the parents, who carry the poison." "But they learn from us," the other mother said. "They see how we look at white people, how we step aside on the sidewalk, how we lower our eyes." "Yes," Grace said sadly, "we teach them to be small, just as white parents teach their children to be afraid." Inside, through the windows, they could see Mandela sitting with the children. He was explaining something, using his hands expressively. The children leaned in, listening. Thomas van der Merwe shifted uncomfortably. "What's he telling them?" "I don't know," Maria said, "but Anna's listening. Look at her face." Indeed, their daughter sat in the front, eyes wide, completely absorbed in whatever Mandela was saying. Mrs. Botha emerged from the building, looking flustered. "Parents, President Mandela has requested that you come inside. He wants the children to do an activity, and he'd like you to observe." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. White parents exchanged nervous glances. Black parents looked uncertain. "Why?" Thomas demanded. "What kind of activity?" "A game," Mrs. Botha said. "He wants them to play together." "Together?" a white mother gasped. "But they'll what?" Grace Kumalo spoke up from across the courtyard. Her voice was steady but carried an edge. "Play, laugh, become friends? Is that what frightens you?" The white mother flushed. "It's not about fear. It's about appropriateness. They should take time to adjust." "We've had a year," Grace said. "How much more time do you need to accept that our children deserve the same education?" Tension crackled in the air. Thomas stepped forward. "No one's saying your children don't deserve education, but forcing them together." "No one forced your ancestors to divide us," Grace interrupted. "That was a choice. Now we must choose differently." Mrs. Botha raised her hands. "Please, President Mandela is waiting. Will you come inside?" Slowly, reluctantly, the parents filed into the building. They entered the classroom and stood along the walls, white parents on one side, black parents on the other. Even the adults maintained the invisible line. Mandela stood in the center with the children gathered around him. He looked at the parents and smiled gently. "Thank you for coming," he said. "Your children are about to teach you something important, if you'll let them." Mandela addressed the children. "We're going to play a game called the Circle of Trust. It's very simple, but it requires one thing: courage." The children looked at each other nervously. "Here's how it works," Mandela continued, everyone will stand in a circle, not a circle with gaps, not a circle with lines, one circle with everyone holding hands. Immediately, discomfort rippled through the room. The children glanced at their parents. The parents shifted uneasily. Mr. President, Mrs. Botha said hesitantly, perhaps we should start with something less physical. Why? Mandela asked gently. Is there danger in holding a hand? It's not about danger, a white father called out from the wall. It's about fear, Mandela finished. Yes, I understand, but let me ask you something. He turned to little Anna van der Merwe, the blonde girl with pigtails. Anna, if you hold Sipho's hand, he gestured to the black boy, what do you think will happen? Anna looked at Sipho, then at her father, then back at Mandela. I don't know, she whispered. Will it hurt? Mandela asked. No. Will you become sick? No. Then what will happen? Anna thought hard. Nothing. Exactly, Mandela said. Nothing. Because holding someone's hand is just holding someone's hand. Your father might see a black hand and a white hand, but you see two hands, two children, and that's the truth he's forgotten. Thomas van der Merwe's face reddened, but he said nothing. Mandela continued, once we form the circle, I will tell a story. And while I tell it, you must keep holding hands, no letting go. Even if it feels strange, even if you want to. Can you do that? The children nodded slowly. Parents, Mandela said, I ask you to remain silent, watch, but do not interfere. Let your children lead. He began organizing the children. Come, come, let's make our circle. The children moved hesitantly. Mandela gently guided them, alternating black and white children around the circle. Anna found herself between Sipho and another black girl named Thandi. A white boy named Johan stood between two black boys. At first, the children held hands limply, barely touching, arms extended to maintain maximum distance. The circle was large and loose. Closer, Mandela said gently. A real circle. Come closer together. Slowly, the children stepped inward. The circle tightened, hands gripped more firmly. Some children looked at the floor. Others glanced nervously at their parents. The parents watched in strained silence. Maria van der Merwe clutched her husband's arm. Grace Kumalo stood rigid, barely breathing. Once the circle was formed, white and black children alternating, hands held, standing close. Mandela stepped into the center. Good, he said, very good. Now, keep holding on and listen. He began to speak. When I was in prison, Mandela began, his voice soft but clear. I had a garden, a small patch of earth where I could grow vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, onions. It was hard work. The soil was poor, the sun was harsh, but I tended that garden every day. The children listened, still holding hands. Their initial discomfort began to fade as they focused on his words. One day, I noticed something strange. I had planted tomato seeds in one row, but only half of them grew. The other half withered and died. Do you know why? A few children shook their heads. Because I had believed a lie, Mandela said. I had been told that those seeds were inferior, weak, unlikely to grow. And so, without realizing it, I gave them less water, less attention. I expected them to fail, and they did. He paused. But then I realized the seeds were identical. The difference wasn't in the seeds. It was in me, in what I believed about them. Anna, still holding Sipho's hand, asked, "What did you do?" I started over, Mandela said. I planted new seeds, but this time I treated every seed exactly the same. Equal water, equal care, equal belief that they would grow. And you know what happened. They all grew, Thandi guessed. Yes, Mandela said, all of them, because seeds don't care about our prejudices. They care about water and sun and soil, and children. He looked around the circle. Children are the same. You don't care about skin color, not really. You care about kindness, fairness, fun. It's only when adults plant lies in your minds that you learn to see differences that don't matter. Saifo, the black boy holding Anna's hand, spoke up. But some differences are real. I'm darker than Anna, that's true. Yes, Mandela agreed. And Anna has blonde hair while yours is black. She has blue eyes while yours are brown. These things are real. But do these differences mean you can't be friends? No, Saifo said. Do they mean one of you is better than the other? No. Then why, Mandela asked gently, do we allow these small differences to build such big walls? No one answered. But around the circle, something was changing. The children's grips tightened. What had started as reluctant hand-holding was becoming something else. Connection. Johan, the white boy, looked at the black boy next to him. Your hand is warmer than mine. The boy smiled. My mama says I run hot. Mine too, Johan said. She's always telling me I'm like a little furnace. Suddenly, the two boys grinned at each other. A shared truth, a small bridge. Mandela watched this exchange and smiled. You see, when you talk, you discover you're more alike than different, but you have to be willing to hold on long enough to find out. He continued his story, weaving tales of his childhood, his time in prison, his dreams for South Africa. And as he spoke, the children unconsciously moved closer. The circle tightened, arms relaxed, shoulders touched. Anna glanced at Sifo and Thandi on either side of her. They weren't scary. They were just kids, like her. And in that moment, the wall she didn't know she'd built began to crumble. Around the edges of the room, the parents watched. Their faces told different stories. Some looked angry, others confused. A few, just a few, looked like they might be holding back tears. Thomas van der Merwe felt something crack inside his chest as he watched his daughter. Anna was smiling, actually smiling. Her small white hand gripped the black boy's hand comfortably, naturally, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. And for her, it was. But for Thomas, it shattered something, a belief he'd held his entire life, that black and white could not, should not mix. That separation was natural, necessary, safe. Yet here was his daughter, his innocent 7-year-old daughter, proving him wrong with a simple smile. He felt his wife's hand slip into his. Maria was crying silently, tears streaming down her face. She's so happy, Maria whispered. Look at her. When was the last time we saw her that happy at school? Thomas couldn't answer, because the truth was, Anna had been withdrawn lately. Quiet. She didn't want to go to school. She said it felt weird and lonely. They'd assumed it was the integration, the disruption. But now, watching her in that circle, laughing at something the boy next to her said, Thomas realized Anna hadn't been unhappy because of the black children. She'd been unhappy because she wasn't allowed to connect with them. The adults had created the loneliness. Across the room, Grace Kumalo watched her son Saifo. He was talking animatedly to the white girl next to him, explaining something with his hands. The girl listened intently, nodding. Grace felt a strange mixture of emotions: pride, fear, hope, grief. Pride that her son could be so open, fear of what might happen in a world that still resisted, hope that maybe, just maybe, this new generation would be different. And grief for all the years wasted, all the friendships prevented, all the connections severed by a system designed to divide. Another black mother leaned close. "It hurts to watch, doesn't it?" "Yes," Grace admitted, "because I see what we denied them, and what was denied to us." "Do you think they'll stay friends?" the woman asked, "once they leave this room?" Grace watched Mandela, still speaking in the center of the circle, his face radiant with hope. "I don't know, but at least now they know it's possible." Mrs. Botha, the teacher, stood near the door, her hands clasped tightly. She had taught for 30 years, all of them under apartheid. She'd taught black children and white children in separate schools, with separate books, separate everything. She'd told herself it was just the law, that she was neutral, that she wasn't responsible. But watching this moment, these children laughing and connecting despite everything the system had tried to drill into them, she realized there was no such thing as neutral. By enforcing separation, even passively, she had been complicit. Mandela finished his story. The children still held hands, many of them now leaning into each other, whispering, giggling. "Now," Mandela said, "I'm going to ask you to do something harder than holding hands." The children looked up. "I'm going to ask you to let go." Confused glances passed around the circle. "But here's the challenge," Mandela continued. "When you let go, don't go back to your old corners. Don't separate again. Instead, I want you to sit in a new circle, mixed up, black and white, side by side. And then," he smiled, "then I want you to share something about yourself, one truth, something real. Can you do that?" The children nodded. "Parents," Mandela said, turning to the adults lining the walls, "you may leave now if you wish, or you may stay. But if you stay, I ask you only to listen, not to judge, not to interfere. Just listen to what your children have to say." No one moved. Every parent stayed. The children let go of hands and reorganized themselves into a seated circle on the floor. Without prompting, they mixed naturally now, black and white interspersed, sitting close. Anna sat next to Sifo. Johan sat next to Thandi. The invisible line that had dominated the classroom an hour ago had vanished. Mandela sat with them. "Who wants to go first?" he asked. "Tell us something true about yourself, something your new friend might not know." Anna's hand shot up. She looked at Sifo. "I'm scared of the dark," she said. "Every night, I sleep with a light on because I have bad dreams." Sifo nodded seriously. "Me too. I dream that—" He hesitated, glancing at his mother. "I dream that bad men come and take my papa away. Like in the old days." The room fell silent. Grace Kumulo's hand went to her mouth. Anna looked at Sifo with sudden understanding. "That's a scary dream." "Yeah," Sifo said, "but it's just a dream now. My papa's safe." "My papa gets angry sometimes," Anna blurted out. "He yells and it scares me, but I still love him." Across the room, Thomas van der Merwe felt his throat close. He hadn't realized, hadn't known his anger frightened her. Another child spoke. "My mama works for a white family," a black girl said. "She leaves before I wake up and comes home after I'm asleep. I miss her." A white boy said, "My dad lost his job last year. He says it's because of the new government. but mostly he just sits at home and drinks. I wish he'd be happy again." One by one, the children shared, not the things that divided them, but the things that united them: fear, love, loneliness, hope, dreams, sadness, the universal language of childhood. And as they spoke, something extraordinary happened. The parents began to see each other, really see each other. Thomas looked at Grace Kumalo and saw a mother, not a black woman, not a domestic worker, a mother who worried about her son the same way he worried about his daughter. Grace looked at Thomas and saw a father, not an oppressor, not a symbol of apartheid, a man struggling to make sense of a changing world just as she was. The walls didn't collapse all at once, but cracks appeared, light seeped through. When the children finished sharing, Mandela spoke one final time. "You are the future of South Africa," he said quietly. "Not me, not your parents, you. And the country you build will be shaped by the choices you make now. Every day you will choose. Do I see difference as division, or do I see difference as richness? Do I build walls, or do I build bridges?" He looked at each child in turn. "You've just done something incredibly brave. You held hands across history. You spoke truth across color lines. You became, for this hour, what I pray South Africa will become. One people, many colors, united." Then he turned to the parents. "And you have witnessed it. Your children led, and you followed. That is how it should be, because they are not born with hate. They learn it from us. Which means," he paused, "we can teach them something else. We can teach them love." Maria van der Merwe was openly crying now. Several other parents, black and white, wiped their eyes. Mrs. Botha stepped forward. "Mr. President, thank you. I think we needed this." "Thank you for allowing it," Mandela said. "But the real work starts now. This was 1 hour, one circle. The question is, will you continue it? Will you let your children continue it?" He prepared to leave, but Anna suddenly stood and ran to him, throwing her small arms around his waist. "Thank you," she said. Then Saifo joined her. Then Thandi. Soon, all the children surrounded Mandela, hugging him, thanking him. The parents watched, and in that image, their children, black and white, embracing the man who had spent 27 years in prison fighting for this exact moment, something fundamental shifted. As Mandela left the school that day, he turned to Mrs. Botha. "Plant these seeds well," he said. "Water them, care for them, because the harvest will determine our future." She nodded, unable to speak. Outside, the parents slowly dispersed. But before they left, something unprecedented happened. Thomas van der Merwe extended his hand to Grace Kumalo. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, "for everything." Grace looked at his hand for a long moment. Then she took it. "We all have to start somewhere," she said. They shook hands. Not as white and black, not as oppressor and oppressed, but as two parents trying to build a better world for their children. Behind them, through the classroom window, Anna and Saifo could be seen laughing together, already planning to sit next to each other every day. The walls were still there. The healing was incomplete. The journey was long. But in that classroom, in that circle, with those children, the seeds of tomorrow had been planted. And Mandela, driving away, allowed himself to believe they will grow.